Welcome back to another Moulder Monday, and today is episode 2 of the podcast, the Moulder Mentality. And today we are going to get into the actual origins of the Moulder Mentality and what I've been trying to convey this entire time in building the foundation for the future. You have to understand that your mind is your greatest power. Let me repeat that. Your mind is your greatest power. Once you can control your mind, that's when you can fully control your reality. Every single solution to your problems comes from the mind. It comes from your mentality. So 5 years ago, I had to give a speech at my high school graduation. And I've heard many speeches in my life, and they're very motivational, inspirational, but usually in that moment, right? And then sooner or later, you tend to forget them. I mean, if I had to ask you any of the speeches you've heard over the course of your life, you can barely name a few, maybe even can't name one, right? So I wanted to figure out how to overcome that. I didn't want to just go up there, say something, people forget. I wanted to leave a lasting impact, So I crafted the Moulder Mentality speech, something that was personal to me, but also impactful for others. The baseline of the Moulder Mentality is not just my recipe for success, but the foundation for your success. So what I've been trying to instill in your head is that mental foundation. Everyone you look up to, the wealthy, the successful, whatever it may be, they all have that. They all have their own mental foundation that they use as a guide every single day. One of the people that I looked up to and got inspiration for the Moulder Mentality was Kobe, the Mamba mentality. Kobe was a different breed. And calling back to what I was talking about last episode about getting different perspectives, I'm a Boston Celtics fan. Kobe's a Los Angeles Laker. The Celtics don't like the Lakers. Now, if I had my bias where I'm not going to listen to anything that a Lakers person has to say, I wouldn't be where I am. But me, I also see these athletes as human spectacles too. They're not just team versus team. They're also human beings, right? So I like to model a lot of my mental foundation from Kobe's, and there's a lot to learn from him. While I'm not as accomplished as Kobe is or any of these other individuals, I want to share my mentality now so you can see the beginning of the formula and see how it'll change over time, because one day I will be successful. So you can understand what it was like now for what it's going to be like later. So I have my overarching mentality that I approach every situation with, but the base root is the 3 P's, which I'll go into each one of them today. The 3 P's. So let's discover the first P, perseverance. This is the beginning of it. Do not give up. If you believe you can get through anything, you will. Any situation, any obstacle, get through it and keep going. The easy route in life is giving up. But nothing ever good comes from taking the easy way. You have to grind for things that you want, right? If abs were so easy, everyone would have them, but then they wouldn't mean anything. But it takes hard work to achieve that, which is why it means something. So if you take that mindset and do the hard things, you'll get what you want in life. The easy way, it's not going to bring that. I promise you, it's just not. Especially now, where we've entered the leisure era of humanity, it is so easy to find comfort, right? So now it is way tougher to make the tough, hard decisions because it's so easy to resort the other way. Whereas back in the day, you really didn't even have that option most all the time. And now it's becoming far more important because the easier it is to do things, the more replaceable that's going to be. Doing the easy jobs, that stuff's going to get replaced. There's not going to be a need for that stuff anymore. But perseverance isn't just about taking the hard route, right? Most of the time, that's usually what it ends up being. But the idea is to understand to keep fighting, to never give up, whatever the circumstances, whatever the situation is, whether you think you failed all these times, life is tough. Perseverance means to keep going. Doesn't matter. Keep going. You're going to get through it. You just have to keep fighting. So let me tell you my story about not giving up. Growing up, I didn't believe in depression, anxiety, bipolar. I didn't believe in any of that. I thought that was just people wanting attention and saying, oh, I got a disorder. But come to learn, there's definitely people that do that, which actually hurts the real people with mental disorders. The people that claim, oh, I'm depressed after getting a bad exam grade. That's not depression. It's not just one thing happens and you're all of a sudden depressed. No. Let's take a step back for a second. So in 2023, I was living peak college life, right? I was involved, getting good grades, getting money, going out and partying all the time. Everything was great. And then that summer, everything collapsed. I'd never gotten a concussion in my life, so I didn't know what that was. And I ended up getting multiple concussions. Like I said, I didn't know what a concussion was, so when I was slurring my words and having brain fog, I just thought that was from all the drinking I was doing. So I continued living on my normal life. And mind you, I got these concussions during finals week. I was studying really hard for those exams. I was still playing sports on teams, and I was still going out. So it didn't really help my case. So I ended up finishing school that semester, got home, and my head was in insane pain. And I went to the doctor. I was like, what the heck is going on? I've never felt this pain before. And they said, oh, yeah, you have a concussion. And I said, you don't rest this right away, and this could get really, really bad. So I ended up going home, and for a week straight in a dark room, lights off, nothing, minimal use of phone, week straight. And I was just laying in bed. That's it. Every second, I was in throbbing pain in my head. Everything finally cleared up. I was like, yo, this is just terrible. It felt like somebody had a knife stuck in my head. And every single night, I'd go to sleep thinking I was going to die. It was scary. One of the nights, I woke up with the worst headache of all time. Veins were popping out of my head. The blood was pulsing. I had to go to the ER. So I woke my mom up. We went to the ER. I literally thought that was it for me. And they gave me this Benadryl cocktail to calm everything down. And it did. But as that was happening, I started seeing black. I was like, oh my God, this is literally it. I started seeing black and it was just like caving in. And then somehow I got out of it. But that traumatized me so much. I was shaking. I just started shaking and my heart was beating. But at least my head felt better. But now I was having these convulsions. It was insane. So I stayed in the hospital for a couple hours, calmed down a little bit, and finally went home, tried to go back to sleep. And I couldn't because my heart was just pounding and pounding and pounding, and I was shaking, and I couldn't control it. I literally couldn't control it. So I somehow managed to close my eyes for a couple hours, wake up, and I can feel my heart beating. I can just feel it. Sometimes when you run really hard and you can feel your heart beating, it felt like that, but I was just doing nothing. Mind you, my head was still killing too. It was just a pure disaster for me. So my next quest was to figure out what the heck was going on with my heart. Now I thought I had heart problems or something. So I'm going to all these cardiologists, heart doctors to figure out what the heck is happening to me. So I go to all these doctors and they say, I don't know, your heart is completely healthy. Actually, it's insanely healthy. So that doesn't really help me. I'm still shaking during the day. My body's tingling. My heart's pounding. I feel like I'm going to get a heart attack all the time. And I keep asking everybody and nobody's giving me answers. What the heck is this? Finally, we come to the conclusion it's anxiety. Remember, I said I didn't even believe in none of that. I thought it was just mumbo jumbo, but that's what it was. It was anxiety. It was physical anxiety after that traumatic event that happened to me. And now my body has this anxiety. So how do I fix this? How do I get rid of it? And the solution, take some meds and you'll be fine. It'll suppress the anxiety. You take daily meds, you'll be fine. To me, I don't believe in that stuff because that's not the solution, is just hopping on meds. Think of this, right? Somebody's unhappy. I guess, depressed in their life and things aren't going right. Here, take a couple of shots of alcohol. I guarantee you, no matter what it is, they're going to all of a sudden be magically happier. Is that going to change their shitty life? No. But in that moment, they'll be happier. And that's what these daily prescription drugs do. It's the same exact thing, where you're basically suppressing the problems and you just keep taking it every day, right? It's like just taking shots every day. It's not going to actually change it, but it basically suppresses it. I'll go way deeper into that another day. But that was my thought. I didn't want to take the meds, so I had to find out a solution somehow. So this is where that perseverance comes in, right? That's the answer of just giving up. I'm trying to find these things. I'm powering through all this medical intensity that I'm going through, and I could just give up. But I'm saying, no, I'm going to find a solution. I'm going to persevere. How do I control the uncontrollable? It's something that's attacking my body. There's literally nothing I can do about it. It's this disease, right? I'm trying to figure out answers of how to be more in tune with your body. And what I come along is monk meditation. Now, I was never the one to believe in that stuff either. I was like, oh, you just meditate and sit, whatever. What was that really going to do? Well, that changed. So I was listening to these 45-minute videos, these sessions of these monks, and they would guide this meditation. And I would sit there and get in tune with my body for 45 minutes. And it wasn't easy. It was a very powerful process. And that changed everything. I did it for a couple of weeks every day. I was just sitting through these 45-minute meditation sessions, and I just became so in tune with my body. We became so symbiotic, my mind and my body, and it wasn't there before. And finally, I could control this. And it's not like I could just all of a sudden get rid of the anxiety, but it was more understanding what it was and how to balance it. And it still happens. I'll still get random anxiety moments out of nowhere. But the difference now is I understand what it is, and my body and mind are on the same page. We say, okay, we know what's happening. We're going to play it through. Whereas before, when I got these attacks, my body thought I was going to die. And I was like, yep, you're going to die. If you've had these panic attacks before, you understand that feeling where you literally just think you're going to die. But it changed throughout meditation. I finally found my answer, and that's perseverance. I could have easily given up a long time ago. I could have easily just said, you know what, I'm just going to start going on some crazy drugs and getting rid of all this pain. But I found a way, and now I'm great. And that's what persevering is. Keep going, keep fighting. Even when you think nobody's on your side and everything's against you, keep going. I'm telling you, you're going to make it through it. You're going to make it through it. Keep going. That's the first P, perseverance. The second P is crucial to your existence, crucial to your reality. And that P is positivity. Staying positive is what completely reshapes your reality. When you learn how to turn every negative into a positive, I'm telling you, your life is going to change. It is going to flip upside down, literally. I mean, let's be honest here. Does anybody enjoy being around negative people all the time? You go out to eat, this place sucks, and it's just everything's negative. Do any of you enjoy that? If so, what is wrong with you, right? Nobody enjoys that. And those people, that negativity is destroying their own lives. Don't let them destroy yours. Get away from that. You have to understand that life is a beautiful, beautiful gift. It's unfathomable that we even exist, but it's such a privilege to experience consciousness. And there's people that just ruin it, completely ruin it. Being negative all the time, sign of mental weakness. Do not surround yourself with that. There's two kinds of people. One who burns their toast and let it ruin their entire day, and the other person who burns their toast and says, oh, okay, I'll make a new one. How hard is that? You have to understand that your reality is what you create it to be. Your reality is in here. It really doesn't even matter out there. It's here because it's how you perceive it, right? It could be raining And one person thinks it's the worst day in the world. But you could think it's the best day in the world. It's your reality, right? So it's how you perceive it. It's how you think about it. So why would you not want to twist your reality to be positive? Having a positive reality makes you want to keep going every day. It makes you want to help others. It makes you want to pursue your goals. The opposite doesn't do any of that. Oh, it's raining out. My day is ruined. Reframe that. Oh, it's raining out. I get to work on my craft that I've been putting off for a long time. My arts and crafts project. Reframing. That is how you change your reality, by staying positive. This is why I highly encourage seeking new perspectives. Stop living in your bubble. Go explore, because you're going to end up being more grateful and appreciative, right? I was camping a couple days ago, and I was out in the open wilderness. It was pouring rain outside. I'm literally out in the open wilderness sleeping, no showers, no working bathrooms. And I get home. Oh, the luxury of a hot shower. You don't even realize how many luxuries you have on the daily until it gets stripped from you. You don't realize how good you have life until you don't have it, until you don't have those amenities and features. So that's why it's good to seek new perspectives, because you'll gain that appreciation that you didn't have before. Let me ask you this. This analogy has completely shifted my mindset every single day. If I were to give you $1 trillion, no catches, for free, you get $1 trillion, would you take it? The answer is yes, you're going to take that. But now, I'm going to add a catch. You have 1 day to live, and you still get the $1 trillion. Do you still take it? You're going to say no. So what you're telling me is that a day of your life is worth more than $1 trillion. I could have even raised that price to even higher. You're not going to take it if you only have 1 day to live. So what I'm hearing is every morning you should feel like you win $1 trillion. You should wake up and say, oh my God, I literally just won $1 trillion. That's how much each morning waking up is worth. Why don't we treat it that way? Why don't we wake up and have the same feeling of winning $1 trillion? Because the gift of life in time outweighs all of that money. It does not equate to any value. You can't put a price on it. So wake up every morning pumped. We should be pumped to live another day. And that's what I do. And it's completely reshaped my reality. Reframe your reality. Turn the negatives into positives every day. You will notice a severe difference in your life. And finally, the third P, patience. Kind of ironic. You had to wait for this one. And if you already have some patience, so that's good. And this is the hardest of the P's of the Moulder mentality, because it's not just about adding it to your mentality, it's about knowing when to use it. Sometimes you need to act fast, sometimes you need to be patient, and understanding that differentiation is what makes it so difficult. And it's extremely difficult to master, but it takes time. And that's the point. You have to understand that things take time. You cannot see the results tomorrow, but you may see them down the line. You don't just go to the gym one day and all of a sudden you become the Rock. No. After years, things are going to look different. I guarantee you'll see results. You look in the mirror day to day, you're not going to see that. But over a long period of time, you will. You have to understand that things take time, and you have to be okay with it. You cannot get upset when things don't work out immediately how you want it to. Lay out plans, follow the steps, trust the process. And this skill is getting increasingly difficult to master. This modern generation, this modern era wants instant gratification. I mean, look at social media. If you don't get your information in 1 second, you move on. That is insanity. You pull up to McDonald's and you expect your food ready right away. We used to sit at restaurants for a long time conversating, and it was okay. Now, if you don't get your food in 1 minute, what the heck? Where's the manager? Whoa, the attention span is decreasing with each generation. Don't fall into that trap. Patient also doesn't just mean being patient with your goals. It also means being patient with people, trying to understand people. Not a lot of people are going to get it. Not a lot of people are going to get you. But you have to be patient. Try and work towards it. Try and communicate with people. Don't be quick to anger. Don't be quick to judge people. Be patient. Take time. It's okay to take time, because that's how you really grow, is by taking time to do things instead of just trying to react right away. And those are the 3 P's: perseverance, positivity, and patience. If you apply those 3 P's to any situation in your entire life, you will get wherever you want to go. You will be successful. You will be a likable person. It changes your reality. Take those 3 P's and apply it to your life. That can be the baseline. I promise you, everything will change. Next week, we're going to focus in on mastery and mastering the life foundations. It is a very important one, so you're going to want to listen into that one. Once again, appreciate you for making it this far. 2nd episode on some random podcast, so I appreciate that, and it's going to be worth it for you as well. So thanks for listening once again, and together we can mold the future.